The moment you decide to change is the moment everything transforms. Your future isn't written yet. It exists as a field of possibilities waiting for you to select one and make it real. This is not wishful thinking. This is not some fantasy. This is how reality works at the most basic level. Most people walk through life never realizing the incredible power they possess. They wake up every day, follow the same routines, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and then wonder why nothing ever changes. But you're different. You're here because something inside you knows there's more. Something inside you recognizes that you are the creator of your life experience. What if I told you that manifestation isn't some mysterious process reserved for a lucky few? What if I told you that you've been manifesting your entire life, but mostly by accident rather than by design? Every thought you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt has been sending signals into the universal consciousness, attracting corresponding experiences into your life. The challenge is that most of us spend our time thinking about what we don't want, focusing on problems rather than solutions, dwelling on lack rather than abundance, and so we keep creating more of the same. But today, right here, we're going to change that pattern together. Have you ever noticed how when you buy a new car, suddenly you see that same model everywhere? Those cars were always there, but now your mind is attuned to notice them. That's a small example of how your attention shapes your perception of reality. Now, imagine applying that same principle to everything in your life. Your health, your relationships, your success, your happiness. When you truly understand this, you'll never see the world the same way again. You'll recognize that what appears as solid reality is actually a reflection of consciousness, your consciousness. And when you change your inner state, your outer world must follow. Let's talk about the fundamental principle of manifestation. Everything in this universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions are also energy. They're not just abstract concepts. They're actual energetic events happening in your body and extending out into the world around you. When you consistently hold a thought and pair it with a corresponding emotion, you create a specific energetic signature. And here's the key, like attracts like. The energy you put out through your thoughts and feelings attracts matching energies back to you. This isn't just some nice idea. It's how the universe functions. Most people think manifestation is about wanting something you don't have. But that approach actually reinforces the lack of what you desire. True manifestation happens when you feel as if you already have what you want. When you generate the emotions you would experience if your desire was already fulfilled, this shifts your entire energetic state. Instead of broadcasting a signal of wanting or needing, you're broadcasting a signal of having and being. And that makes all the difference. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. Consider this. If you want financial abundance but constantly feel anxiety about money, what energy are you actually putting out? Not abundance, but fear and lack. If you want a loving relationship but feel lonely and unworthy, you're not vibrating at the frequency of love and connection. The good news is that you can change your energetic signature at any moment. You don't need anything outside yourself to do this. You just need to understand how to use your mind and heart together to create new states of being. Why do most people struggle with manifestation? Because they're trying to create a new future while remaining stuck in their past. Every experience you've ever had has created neural networks in your mind. Patterns of thinking that have become automatic. These patterns generate familiar emotions which create chemical responses in your body. Over time, your body becomes addicted to these emotional chemicals. This is why change can be so difficult, because on an unconscious level, your body craves the familiar emotions even if they are negative. Your body doesn't know the difference between a good feeling and a bad feeling. It only knows familiar and unfamiliar. So, when you try to think new thoughts and create new emotions, your body resists. It wants the comfortable known state, even if that state is stress, worry, or dissatisfaction. This is the biological basis of what people call self-sabotage. Most people live their lives completely unaware of this process. They don't realize that their thoughts are largely automatic, arising from the past rather than responding to the present. They don't notice that their emotional states follow predictable patterns. And they certainly don't understand that these thoughts and emotions are creating their future experiences. Think about it. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, you'll keep feeling the same emotions. If you keep feeling the same emotions, you'll keep making the same choices. If you keep making the same choices, you'll keep creating the same experiences. If you keep creating the same experiences, you'll keep reinforcing the same neural networks, and the cycle continues. Breaking this cycle requires awareness. You have to catch yourself in the act of being yourself. Notice when you're falling into old thought patterns and emotional responses. This awareness alone begins to loosen the grip of the past. Let's look more closely at the relationship between thoughts, emotions, and physical reality. Your thoughts are the language of your mind, but your emotions are the language of your body. When you think a thought, it creates a corresponding emotion. That emotion then creates a cascade of biological responses throughout your physical form. If you think about a past trauma, your body responds as if it's happening now. Your heart rate increases, stress hormones flood your system, and your muscles tense up. If you think about something joyful, your body releases different chemicals, ones that promote healing, vitality, and well-being. This mind-body connection is constant and automatic, but most people let their external environment dictate their internal state. Something happens outside them and they react with predictable thoughts and emotions. That's living as an effect of your world rather than as a cause. What if you could reverse that process? What if instead of letting the outer world determine your inner state, you used your inner state to create your outer world? This is the essence of conscious manifestation. When you generate a thought of what you want to create and then produce the emotion of already having it, you send a clear signal to the universal consciousness. You're not asking for something, you're claiming it is already yours. At that moment, you're vibrating at the frequency of your desire fulfilled. The key is consistency. A single thought or a momentary feeling won't override years of habitual thinking and feeling. You need to sustain these new thoughts and emotions until they become your new normal. Until your body believes that this new state is who you really are. This is where many people give up. They try a new way of thinking for a day or two, don't see immediate results, and go back to their old patterns. But creating a new reality is like learning any new skill. It takes practice, patience, and persistence. Think about learning to play an instrument or a sport. At first, it feels awkward and difficult. Your body resists the unfamiliar movements, but with consistent practice, what once felt strange becomes natural. The same principle applies to changing your mental and emotional states. Now, let's talk about breaking free from automatic patterns. The first step is becoming aware of them. Start paying attention to your recurring thoughts. Notice the situations that trigger emotional reactions in you. Begin to observe yourself as if you were watching someone else. This act of self-observation creates a separation between you and your programmed responses. You start to realize that you are not your thoughts or your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. This realization is enormously liberating because it means you have a choice. You can choose to continue with the automatic response, or you can choose something different. Most people never exercise this choice because they don't know they have it. They believe they are their personality, their collection of habits, reactions, and tendencies. But your personality is just a set of programs running in your mind and body. The real you is the consciousness that can observe and modify these programs. Breaking free requires courage. It means being willing to feel uncomfortable as you create new neural pathways. It means continuing to choose different thoughts and emotions even when your body is screaming for the familiar. It means trusting that temporary discomfort leads to lasting transformation. One powerful way to break old patterns is to ask yourself, what thoughts do I need to think to create the emotions of my desired future? Then consciously generate those thoughts throughout your day. When you catch yourself falling into old thought patterns, gently redirect your mind to these new empowering thoughts. Another technique is to notice when you're feeling a limiting emotion like fear, anger, or unworthiness, and ask yourself, who would I be without this feeling? Then imagine yourself free from that limitation. How would you stand? How would you speak? What decisions would you make? Begin acting as that version of yourself right now. The power of focused attention cannot be overstated. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Whatever you consistently focus on expands in your experience. This is why constantly thinking about problems makes them seem bigger, while focusing on solutions opens new possibilities. Most people scatter their attention throughout the day, jumping from one thought to another, one task to another. This diffused focus creates a diffused energy and diffused results. But when you learn to direct and sustain your attention, you become a powerful creator. The thing about a magnifying glass focusing sunlight, the same amount of sunlight that would barely warm your skin can start a fire when concentrated through the lens. Your attention works the same way. Scattered attention produces minimal results, but focused attention generates tremendous creative power. This is why regular meditation is so important for manifestation. Meditation trains your ability to focus and sustain attention. It teaches you to direct your mind rather than being directed by it. When you can hold your attention steadily on one thing, like the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you accelerate the manifestation process. But it's not just about focusing on what you want. It's about focusing on who you need to become to create what you want. This distinction is crucial. Most people focus on getting something outside themselves. But true manifestation is about becoming someone new, someone who naturally attracts and creates different experiences. Ask yourself, who would I be if I already had everything I desire? How would I think? How would I feel? How would I act? Then practice being that person today, not waiting until your external circumstances change. This brings us to creating new states of being. A state of being is the combination of your thoughts and your feelings. It's who you are being in any given moment, and it's your state of being that determines what you manifest. Most people try to create from a state of wanting, which only creates more wanting. Others try to create from a state of need, which only creates more need. Successful manifestation happens when you create from a state of already having and being. This means generating the thoughts and emotions of your desired future. Now, not waiting for something outside you to change first. It means living as if your prayers have already been answered, your goals already achieved, your desires already fulfilled. This isn't about pretending or denial. It's about recognizing that reality begins in consciousness before anything manifests in the physical world. It first exists as a pattern in consciousness. By holding that pattern consistently in your awareness, you allow it to take form in your experience. You can deliberately create these elevated states through visualization, meditation, gratitude, and conscious choice. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you become a powerful magnet for your desires. Remember, your body doesn't know the difference between an experience happening in your physical environment and one you're vividly imagining. When you create a detailed mental image of your desire fulfilled and generate the corresponding emotions, your body begins to believe it's already happening. Your heart rate changes, your biochemistry shifts, and you begin broadcasting a new signal to the universe. Now, let's talk about the practical meditation process for accelerating manifestation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Close your eyes and begin by focusing on your breath. Take slow, deep breaths, allowing your body to relax more with each exhalation. As your body relaxes, your mind will start to calm. This is important because when your body is in survival mode, stressed, anxious, or tense, it's impossible to create from a new state of being. Your entire biology is focused on the past or worried about the future. Relaxation brings you into the present moment, the only place where creation happens. Once you're relaxed, begin to clear your energy. Imagine any limiting thoughts, emotions, or energies from your past moving out of your body with each exhalation. See yourself becoming lighter, clearer, more open to new possibilities. Now, bring your attention to your heart. The heart is not just a pump, it's an incredibly sophisticated intelligence center that generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body. When you shift your attention to your heart, you tap into this power, feel appreciation or gratitude for something in your life. It could be something simple: the air you're breathing, the comfort of where you're sitting, a person you love. This feeling of appreciation shifts your heart's rhythms into a coherent pattern, which amplifies your manifesting power. From this heart, sea-centered state, begin to create a detailed vision of what you want to manifest. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Add details, colors, sounds, textures, smells. Make it as real and vivid as possible, but here's the crucial part. Don't just see it, feel it. Generate the emotions you would feel if this vision were already your reality. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace, the love, the abundance. Let these emotions fill your entire body. Stay in this state for at least 15-20 minutes. The longer you can sustain this combined mental and emotional state, the stronger the signal you send and the faster your manifestation will appear. As you prepare to end your meditation, express gratitude for this new reality as if it has already happened. Thank the universal intelligence for bringing this to you. Then slowly return your awareness to your body and your surroundings. This meditation process rewires your neural circuitry. It creates new patterns in your mind that make your desired future more probable. With consistent practice, these new patterns become stronger than your old ones, and manifestation accelerates dramatically. How do you know your manifestation is working? There are several signs to watch for. First, you'll notice synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to point toward your desire. Perhaps you'll overhear conversations related to your goal or meet people who can help you, or come across information that provides exactly what you need. Another sign is that you'll start to have new thoughts and inspirations. Ideas will come to you that you wouldn't have thought of before. Pay attention to these and act on them. They're guiding you toward your manifestation. You'll also notice changes in your emotional state. You'll feel more optimistic, more confident, more at peace. Even before your desire has physically manifested, you will feel different because you are different. Remember, the outer world follows the inner world, not the other way around. Sometimes you might experience a period of chaos or discomfort before your manifestation appears. This is actually a good sign. It means your old patterns are breaking down to make way for the new. Just like a caterpillar must dissolve inside the chrysalis before becoming a butterfly, sometimes our old reality must fall apart before the new one can emerge. The most important sign is that you're becoming less attached to the outcome. Paradoxically, as your manifestation gets closer, you care less about whether it happens or not. This is because you're already experiencing the state of being that you previously thought the manifestation would give you. You've discovered that what you really want isn't the thing itself. It's the state of being you associate with having it. Of course, there will be obstacles and resistance along the way. This is natural and expected. When you start to change your energy, everything that isn't in alignment with your new state will surface to be released. Old doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs will arise. People around you might question your new way of being. External circumstances might temporarily get more challenging. These obstacles aren't signs that manifestation isn't working. They're signs that it is. They're opportunities to clear whatever stands between you and your desire. Each time you face a challenge without reverting to your old state of being, you strengthen your new state and accelerate your manifestation. When doubts arise, don't fight them, simply notice them, thank them for showing you what still needs to be cleared, and return to your new state of being. Remember, what you resist persists, what you embrace transforms. If people around you don't understand your changes, that's okay. Not everyone is ready to recognize the creative power within them. Just continue living from your new state of being without needing their approval or understanding. Your results will eventually speak for themselves. If external circumstances seem to get worse before they get better, stay steady in your new state. Don't let temporary appearances pull you back into old thought and emotional patterns. The physical world takes time to catch up with changes in consciousness. Trust the process and keep going. The ultimate key to manifestation is living as your future self today. This means making decisions, taking actions, and responding to life's challenges as the person who already has what you desire. Ask yourself throughout the day, how would my future self think about this situation? How would they feel? What choice would they make? Then align your current thoughts, feelings, and actions with those of your future self. This isn't about pretending or forcing. It's about stepping into a new, authentic expression of who you truly are. Your future self isn't someone else. It's you without the limitations you've accepted in the past. It's you living at your highest potential. As you consistently live as your future self, a remarkable thing happens. The gap between who you're being now and who you want to become gets smaller and smaller. Eventually, there is no gap. You've become the person who naturally creates and experiences what you previously only dreamed about. This is when manifestation becomes effortless. You no longer have to work at creating what you want because you're being someone who naturally attracts and creates those experiences. Your new state of being has become automatic just as your old state once was. Remember that the universe responds not to what you want but to who you are being. When you change your state of being, everything changes. This is the secret to instant manifestation. Not that your desires appear instantly in physical form, but that you instantly shift into the state of being that makes their physical manifestation inevitable. So start today. In fact, start right now. Choose one aspect of your future self and begin expressing it. Perhaps it's how they think about money, or how they care for their body, or how they speak to others, or how they respond to challenges. Embody that quality now and watch how your reality begins to shift in response. The power to create the life you desire has always been within you. It's not something you need to acquire. It's something you need to recognize and use. Your thoughts create, your emotions amplify, and your state of being magnetizes. Use these tools consciously, and you'll transform not just your individual life, but your contribution to the collective consciousness of humanity. What separates those who actually create meaningful change in their lives from those who only wish for it? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even hard work, though that plays a part. The real difference is consistency and commitment to a new way of being. Every day presents you with countless moments to choose. In each of these moments, you can either fall back into automatic patterns or step into the energy of your new life. These small choices might seem insignificant, but they're actually the building blocks of transformation. Your old self will try to convince you that change is too difficult, that you should wait for better circumstances, that you don't deserve what you desire. This voice isn't the truth. It's just a biological resistance to change. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. Then choose differently anyway. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you face an important decision. Will you immediately check your phone, worry about the day ahead, and fall into familiar stress patterns? Or will you take even 5 minutes to connect with the feeling of your desired future, to generate gratitude, to remind yourself who you're becoming? That small choice sets the tone for everything that follows. And when you consistently choose your new state of being, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one else understands, even when external evidence hasn't caught up yet, that's when miracles start to happen. Remember that manifestation is not about getting something you don't have. It's about recognizing that everything you could ever want already exists as a possibility. Your job is simply to align your energy with that possibility until it becomes your reality. This means being honest about where you're currently placing your attention and energy. Are you focusing on what's wrong or what's right? Are you dwelling on past hurts or future possibilities? Are you telling stories of limitation or stories of unlimited potential? The moment you catch yourself in a limiting thought or emotion is a sacred moment, because that's when you have the power to choose again. That's when you can say, "This is not who I'm becoming," and redirect your energy toward your new state of being. Your physical environment will be the last thing to change. First comes the change in your thoughts. Then comes the change in your feelings. Then comes the change in your actions. And finally, your external reality reorganizes itself to match your new internal state. This is why patience and persistence are so essential. If you judge the process by looking only at your current physical circumstances, you might give up before the external changes appear. But if you understand that your physical reality is simply the trailing edge of your consciousness, you'll keep going even when appearances suggest nothing is happening. Start small. If you need to pick one area of your life and practice maintaining your new state of being related to that area as you build confidence through experience, expand to other areas. Eventually, this new way of creating will become second nature. And remember, this isn't just about your individual life. As you raise your energy and consciousness, you affect everyone around you. Your transformation contributes to the collective awakening of humanity. In this way, your personal manifestation becomes an act of service to all. So, I invite you to make a commitment right now. Commit to living from the end, to feeling and being your desired future in this present moment. Commit to catching yourself when you fall into old patterns and gently guiding yourself back to your new state of being. Commit to trusting the process even when your physical senses can't yet perceive the change. This commitment isn't to me or to anyone else. It's to yourself. It's a recognition of your true power and a decision to use that power consciously. The path of manifestation isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Not just for what you'll create, but for who you'll become in the process. Because ultimately, the greatest manifestation isn't the circumstances of your life. It's the awakening of your consciousness to its own creative power. The moment to begin is now. The place to start is here. The person to change is you. Everything else will follow. This is the promise and the power of conscious manifestation. This is your birthright as a creator of reality. Claim it today and watch as your world transforms before your eyes.